Hello everyone. Welcome to Sustainable Living with Shilpa Reddy, powered by Planet Green's Farm Natura, a new beginning to your life. On today's episode of Dates County Nature's Tycoon, I have with me an architect, an entrepreneur, and a change maker who has a vision for sustainable future for urban communities. Let's welcome Nagesh Kumar Battula on my show. Hello Nagesh Garu.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege for us.
Thank you. It's my privilege actually to say because I have heard about Organo a few years back. And in fact, your brochure was sitting on my table for the longest time. It was given by Amla Garu to me. But unfortunately, I couldn't visit your community. But I want to know a lot about you today from an architect. Someone who calls himself a laborer and a game changer. How did your journey begin?
Thank you very much. Like our brochure stayed with you for so long, but I make a formal invite to you to come and visit our place,
Definitely.
what we created.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had a childhood which is both between rural setup as well as city upbringing.
Okay.
So that gave me a perspective in terms of like what we do right now as a urban communities as a mix of both rural and urban conveniences. So, but ever since I started my practice around say way back around I should say 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So right after my 18th year, I actually got into architecture.
Okay.
I worked for 3 years briefly.
Okay.
And then later on, I started my own practice.
Okay.
So I had been there in the industry as a consultant, more like a architect who takes a fee and then delivers certain service.
Okay.
And why I chose architecture is it's more deeper because I, at that point of time, I used to think I'm Howard Rock. There's a famous novel by Fountainhead, and there's an Iron Bird
I know Fountainhead.
who wrote that book. I got terribly influenced by that, and I used to think that I'm a very headstrong architect.
Oh, wow.
So, and mostly it is also like I didn't do a lot of formal education as such, but more like self-taught. And of course, I had a great guru, I should say, like with whom I was there for almost 2 years.
Okay.
Suhas Tomayani. He used to be top architect those days.
Okay.
So I used to work with him. And I was very passionate about architecture as such. Like all the other cousins or friends, everybody, when they were actually migrating to IT, I chose to stick to architecture because it's like really
Creative also, I think.
yeah,
right?
it's also obviously. So I've been practicing. I built a farm for over 2 decades. It's around 120 people, or at some point it was more than that.
Okay.
So built a company called Fountainhead Design. Like it's an architectural firm.
Okay.
And now, of course, it is run by my other colleagues. Okay. They all take care of it. We built large homes, large communities, large master plan projects across India as well as abroad.
Okay.
Like some of the projects are also in Abu Dhabi, Middle East.
Oh, wow. But are they all sustainable or not really?
Not really, actually.
That was the
see, as
beginning
an
of your
architect,
career.
No, all through we were doing, even today we do a lot of jobs,
Okay.
a lot of works. Sustainability is one aspect of design, right?
Okay.
Usually when any client comes and gives us a brief, sometimes they may have sustainability as an ask, like they will ask that you please incorporate green building norms, things like that.
Okay.
But majorly it comes with certain brief. It could be real estate, it could be a hotel that we are doing, an island hotel for Mayfair Group that we did, or Sheraton beachfront property that we did.
Okay.
Or in Nepal we are doing one more hotel for somebody.
Wonderful.
Or it could be commercial, like Imar is our client.
Okay.
Golf course when they are doing. So usually green norms are embedded in the brief to some extent. So it's always there. Like we are aware, we studied that. And we do incorporate certain things without even like.
But what is the ambition behind Organo? It's like a organic urban community which has not been done before. So what was the passion behind this particular project?
While I was doing the practice, I got used to uh, addressing these briefs that client gives.
Okay.
A lot of times what happens is that as an architect, there is something more that we always can do.
Okay.
But we are limited with our scope that as a consultant, we can do only that much.
Okay.
Because the risk is not like as an architect I am taking. It's a developer or maybe a client. They are actually investing money and they want us to design in a certain way. But we had, of course, like influencing charisma, and then we had that personality to question customers, our clients, and then redirect to some extent. But largely it is confined to their brief and satisfying that brief.
Okay.
At some point we actually realized that if there are no constraints, like we as architects, a lot of architects actually, they keep on saying that, I'm not fortunate to get a good client, right, who doesn't listen to me. Like we keep bitching that aspect of
Okay. Like what
in
you really
practice.
want to do, you might not find
Always
a client.
you'll find it, your scope is, your hands are tied, constrained. There are always constraints. But whereas, like at some point we actually questioned ourselves saying that, what if we don't have any limitations? I mean, we only invest with what money that we earn, like let us do our own project, then who is going to construct?
Right.
Like, can we actually go, how far can we go is the bigger thing, right?
Correct.
I mean, what we actually question to our own selves. That is the origin of Organo. Organo is something which, where we actually question ourselves. How much do we push ourselves? How much boundaries that we can actually go beyond our known domain? Like our known domain is obviously architecture, buildings,
Right.
and green buildings, of course, I mean, with the green norms, right, complying to those standards and rules and regulations.
Right.
So these are all what we know. But if we given a choice, like we given a money, if we have that money, assuming that we have money, how much can we push our boundaries? What we actually questioned ourselves.
Okay.
And that's the origin of Organo.
Organo. Okay.
Yeah.
So how different is Organo community from other communities? In how many ways is it different?
So it's actually fundamentally it's different from where it is any building is coming up. Like it's fundamentally at an intention level there is a difference.
Okay.
Here as a developer we intend to do certain thing.
Okay.
That is very strong compared to other probably normal buildings. I don't say all the buildings are like that or all the developers are like that. There are great builders who are doing great job.
Right.
Right, at an intention level, our intention comes first in our case, right? It's not business.
Yeah.
Business, of course, we have to make money. Otherwise, we can't sustain. It doesn't work at all.
That's true.
So that is always there. We have to make money is a backdrop in which when we call business, that's a fundamental thing.
Right.
How we differ from the rest of the people mostly is because our intention is to indulge in